Hey, we're live.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, guys, everyone. Today, I'm privileged and honored to introduce my guest, editor of BlowfishNews blog online. Visit blowfishnews.com. You'll see his shining, handsome face there on the website landing page. And this is who we got with us. Um,
Good afternoon. Yeah, great,
Alex,
great
would you get
Mariners victory.
big Mariners win?
Big
Yeah.
Mariners. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit today about the Mariners. We're gonna figure out uh different reasons we can come up with for why they're dead.
Right.
Um, we're gonna look at ways they've let us down so far. We're gonna try to nitpick this win until it feels like it was a failure,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which it already does. I mean, it already did.
Right. I mean, that Munoz performance just, just not what you want to see from your star closer.
No,
Um,
no,
Not a lot of command
disgusting.
of that, but gutted it out.
Gutted it
Gutted it
out.
out.
If he hadn't gotten that fluky ball called a strike,
Yep.
on the bunt attempt. Also, though, I was watching the Detroit Tigers broadcast booth.
I was as well. Is this
Yep.
due to,
They were
I'm gonna
really
get
obsessed
that
with that.
in
But
my
part of
top.
me was like, what if you think they're top five?
Well, we'll get to the broadcast later in the
Mm,
podcast.
yeah, later in the show.
Oh, these are, yeah.
In between, yeah, after probably the third ad break.
Yeah.
Um, so
Dylan
yeah,
Moore
they
played.
were obsessed with that call, but part of me thought that he just offered the bunt and that's why they called it. Like it would have been an atrocious call,
Right.
especially with how close he was. I feel like he was pretty like calling it pretty tight today. Like he wasn't giving Castillo those edge. Let's get into Castillo. Tell me, what did you
So he gave up two in the fifth. That was on a Sweeney home run. I thought Detroit again kind of jumped all over him earlier in the game. A lot of contact that I'm not used to seeing in Castillo's first couple innings. Kind of similar with Gilbert last night, where I felt like they kind of jumped on him. We're not used to seeing that from our Mariners starters. That's supposed to be kind of a hallmark of our team is getting through those innings clean.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I thought he's a lot better than last week. Yeah, he goes seven, 200 runs, five
It's pretty
strikeouts. Pretty solid performance. Bounce back performance. What did he have? He gave up 5 runs last time.
I think he gave up two, but he only went five.
Yeah, it was
Sometimes he
not.
just labors, where he's just laboring the whole inning.
Yeah, I don't feel like he has kind of that zip and magic he's had the last two
No,
years. Um,
I don't think
but
so. I don't trust him.
it feels better when a guy like Dylan Moore has a day. I mean, let's give it up for Dylan Moore really
How
quick
about
on this.
Dylan?
I
Wow,
mean,
with
come on.
that play at the end too to home.
A couple great defensive stops at third.
Mm-hmm.
Scores on the Robles double. Hits the
Yep.
home run in
Oh yeah.
the home run in the fourth.
That was the difference.
Hit difference in the game and makes a couple great, especially in the ninth, that great defensive
Mm-hmm.
stop at third
Yeah.
base. I mean, when you get output out of guys like Dylan Moore, mediocre performances out of Castillo today feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
were you at on his performance today?
Oh, Medio. I mean, he was honestly pretty lights out. He was. I feel like my my psychoanalysis of Castillo is that he plays pitches super well and has like nasty stuff for like 2 innings until
Yeah.
he's proven to himself and others that like he's still nasty, and then he lets off the gas and
Hmm.
gets knocked around through the second time in the order. And
Right.
then, but when he needs to be, he's telling himself, like, hey, this is my last hitter. I gotta show him that I got it. And he's
Right.
clutch. But I feel
Right.
like he just loses focus in like the middle. Because I feel like he
Middle.
just starts leaving balls like his two seamer will start moving over the plate more. But it didn't as much today.
No, he outpitched the reigning Cy Young Award winner. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Scuball. Did you know Seattle U guy?
Yeah.
That tonight, big feature on the Tigers
Yeah, it
broadcast.
was huge. They kept showing.
I think they got 30 minutes of content out of that.
I know for a while I had the 7:10
Yeah, I've been
broadcast
seeing
on.
that too. I went for a run
Oh,
last
nice.
to it's funny how they do the Riz. It's Riz and who's the young guy?
I don't know.
Alternate innings. Have you
Yeah.
noticed? Yeah, it's an interesting broadcast, but anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
you were saying
Um,
Scooble?
Scooble. Yeah. I
Scooble.
actually interviewed his pitching coach from Seattle U when I worked for the Daily.
Really?
Yeah, because the UW hired because this dude worked at Seattle U and I think maybe helped recruit Scooble. I don't know though. But and then he did really well there, so the UW hired him as their pitching coach, and that happened to be the one year he was there when I was covering the UW team. I think it was during COVID actually. I don't know.
Huh. How
Yeah,
about it?
there's an article about him on the UW Daily if you
We'll,
ever
we'll
want
have
to
to
read it.
we'll have to link to that in the comments and description of the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, wow, what else can we get into? We don't even need to get into the I mean,
Yeah, we'll get into, we'll
what
get
about
into it.
Julio tonight? God, I swear he swung at the
Julio,
first pitch in every at bat and whiffed every time.
I'm not seeing the leap that I'm looking for this year in him.
Mm-mm.
I'm seeing still a lot of chasing out of the zone. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of what was he was 0 for 3 today.
Mm. Yeah, I should
Ground
pull up the
out,
box score.
strikeout, and a ground out. Walked in the second. He had that nice catch. Had that nice catch in center.
That was nice. I was worried he was hurt
Yeah, had
because
that nice
he
catch in
when we
center.
went to the game, whatever day, Monday, I think, yeah, he looked slow. Like, or maybe he wasn't running. He even had a play today in center where he like lazily threw the ball in and someone got to third because he wasn't moving.
Right.
Um,
One
yeah,
second, I'm gonna
he's
grab my tea. Back.
yeah.
It's our first commercial break. We'll cut
Oh
to
yeah. Follow us
the
on iHeartRadio and yeah, we'll edit this for sure.
and we're back.
Nice. That's probably when like DraftKings would do their promo.
Yeah, I think draft. Well, it depends if we're gonna be a DraftKings or a FanDuel, podcast. We'll have our
Oh.
agent.
Yeah,
Uh,
FanDuel was sponsoring the Tigers broadcast today.
how do we feel about that? Do you think they could get away with that 10 years ago? Like that just would be
I
inconceivable
don't think so.
in 2015.
It made me wish I could live bet though.
Hmm.
It
No,
definitely made me wish I could, huh?
they keep showing the tickers of different like bets you could place.
Yeah. Imagine if you'd put what's his name, Homer, but no one would ever do that.
One more homer. Yeah, you'd probably bet that
Sweeney?
18 times before
Yeah.
actually
You'd
hits
end
a
up
home.
losing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, should we jump to our top five frustrations this year?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, why don't we get to our lone segment for the day?
And this segment is sponsored by Krispy Kreme donuts.
Mm,
Krispy Kreme donuts, right down there by the stadium, right up by Jack's office.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Krispy Kreme donuts.
Can't beat him.
Anyway, and Nick, you want to introduce this segment?
Oh, yeah. So this was a segment that Alex pitched during probably the fifth inning today via text. And he said, was that? Yeah, that was about when it was, probably. Maybe before the game.
And then before the game,
Probably before the game.
I was kind of
Um,
reading about the hydrogeology of Sheridan County and thinking about podcast bits at the home office.
yeah, yeah, same. Um, yeah. Well, anyway, the title of this segment is why the Mariners are dead to you,
Mm-hmm.
and basically you're gonna name five of the most disappointing things the team has shown you so far
Yeah,
this
we're gonna go back
season.
and forth.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, let's go back and
do
forth.
that. Yeah.
Go 5-1.
5-1. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. I'll get things started. In the five spot, got Julio Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting paid a lot of money, star of the franchise. He's batting 182 this year. It's a small sample size, but you'd like that to be 350, 375
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Maybe two to three home runs
Yeah.
would be really nice.
That'd be awesome.
It's just like he's just hasn't played great this year. The one home run to our friend, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he did that, knowing how that would affect his media on this podcast. That would give him kind of a higher favorability by hitting a home run to one of our friends. So I think we got to look through that and kind
Yeah.
of recognize the
Yeah.
play season, and that he's a disappointment to the franchise so far. He
Yeah.
just don't give me a lot of hope going forward.
Sorry about the plane. Oh, 5. Number 5 for me. Um, there's just so much to choose from. I'm not gonna go with Julio because I just I feel like he's done more. Maybe not. Maybe it's recency bias, but I feel like he's done more at the beginning of the year this year. No,
Right.
probably not. It's probably about the same, honestly. He had
Yeah,
like,
but that's more about how bad he was last year. I remember
yeah,
last year we went to that game and
yeah,
everybody was still bad, and he was, well, I think Polanco hadn't gotten a hit.
yeah,
We were chanting the Luis Urias DFA, which did ultimately happen. And Julio was batting like .85.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So,
remember that. I would say my number 5 disappointment is Donovan Solano.
hmm
Not because I expected anything. It's not so much him who's disappointed because I always expected that he would be this bad, but it's more just like the fact that he's on our team. Like
right.
his roster spot is
Right.
disappointing me. I don't, that's, yeah.
Guess how old Donovan Solano is?
46?
37, but he is substantially the
Wow.
oldest member of the 13 guys who
Wow.
plate
I honestly
appearances.
thought I was heavily exaggerating.
No,
He's
he's
actually super.
he's 37. What's his position? Like
He's
what?
like he's just kind of like an ambient infielder. I don't know.
Low 5'8" infielder.
Yeah. He's like Luis Arias with less pop, which is feels hard to find.
Right. He batted 326 with the Giants in 2020.
What? Oh, COVID.
Yeah, but he also batted 330 in 2019.
How many
So
games?
381 half season.
81 though? That's like,
Not bad.
wow.
Yeah, but now he's 37. He's had seven plate appearances. He has gone 0.000 in batting, on base, slugging, and OPS for a negative 100 OPS plus with four strikeouts. So I think he would definitely qualify in the top five biggest
The
disappointments.
only Mariner not to have reached base. And that's saying something.
Saying something because here comes.
Because none of them really ever reaches base. Okay, wait, you go number 4.
Well, I'm gonna switch my four and my two. I'm thinking about it, and I'm gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go with this. I'm gonna stick with my four,
Okay.
and that's gonna be the pitching.
Oh yeah.
The pitching. On paper, here's the thing: the Mariners are such a poverty franchise, and they've sort of like tripped into this pot of gold with this young, healthy pitching staff that they think they can kind of like dink and dunk their way around the lineup with guys like Donovan Solano, a 37-year-old ambient infielder. And so you need them to be absolutely electric for this season to make any sense at all. And there's just a lot of worries out of the gate early. Yesterday we had that shelling by Hancock a couple days ago, which just happens because
Ah,
one guy gets injured, which is going to happen in baseball, especially as
yeah,
these get
one
old.
one guy.
one guy's out and he gives up. What did he give up? Like 6 runs, 7 runs in the
6 runs
first
in 2/3 of an inning.
and 2/3.
So
Yeah,
bad.
Detroit Tigers.
Who look like a fucking dominant team against us. Like they look good. I don't know if that's just because they're playing us, but like,
I know it's like they got swept by the Dodgers.
but you can't. Dodgers are gonna go
Right,
140 and 22 this year.
right. They might go undefeated. But yeah, I mean, Gilbert, bad performance yesterday for him. Castillo was pretty solid today, but I mean, Emerson Hancock with an 81 ERA, just not where you want to see it in a guy in your starting rotation.
No.
Fine, but I just think there's too many. And the bullpen, I think, is fine. The Spire had a great outing today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great outing. Munoz a little testy. Guess how old Munoz is?
34?
Try 26.
What? Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Shows you how much I know about this team.
I would have said like 33 though.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's crazy.
yeah, I think that's it. Just, there's too much placed on this team, on this pitching staff. And I just ultimately don't think they're going to be able to pull through and have the kind of top 99th percentile season that we need them to make the playoffs. So that's my
Mm-mm.
number 4 pitching staff.
Yeah. Um, 4. Oh God. Honestly, ah, I don't know if I'm disappointed in it because I always expect everyone to do bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Bryce Miller's start.
Yeah,
I mean, well, he did go 5 and 2/3. He got knocked around a bit. He gave up 8 hits, I want to say.
yeah.
Maybe.
I missed that game. That was remind me about that outing.
Um, I didn't watch that game. I think it was the one they lost. Mm,
It's
he would be
oh,
their third starter.
7.6 ERA this year. He's 0-1.
Yeah. Yeah, I just felt like that was and against the A's, I remember last year he just shut the A's. I guess the A's are better this year. I feel like I usually could count on him being like pretty locked down against horrible teams.
Right,
Or like he was pretty he would get beat up and go like 4 innings against like the Yankees, but if he was playing against like the A's, he would go like 6, 7 strong.
right, right.
But I feel like it was just an indication that he's gonna regress and be a lot worse this year. And with one of our pitchers gone right now, I mean, others might get hurt though.
Right. I mean, Castillo, how do we think Castillo throws 100% of his starts? 80%? I think more like 65%.
Yeah, he's getting older. And then yeah, Miller goes down. Say someone else goes out for like 3 weeks. Wu has had like what stump like hip problems or something. I don't remember. Some kind of like sternum area. But yeah, it's just not looking good. I would say I would agree with pitching.
Yeah, he just I mean, yeah, gave up 3. Just need guys like Miller against the A's to just lock him down.
Yeah.
And that's not happening.
No.
All right, well, I'm going to go a little bit off the board here with the third pick
Hmm.
in my biggest frustrations, and that's going to be just the state of trying to watch baseball. Um,
Yeah.
so as a lot of our listeners know, I live within market, but out of Seattle.
Hmm.
Uh, and so I'm trying to watch these ball games, and I can't get into my dad's Spectrum account due to some like geolocation stuff. They kind of shut down that access for
Hmm.
Root Sports, which gives me 2 options, right? That's to buy the 20 a month Root Sports streaming app, which you know that's like 12, $13 higher than I want it to be. Um, maybe even 18 or $19 higher than I want it to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go with that. And so I'm going to have to go with Stream East, which is, it gets
Hmm.
the job done. It's a little patchy.
You have to watch the away announcers.
Watch the Tigers broadcast the last 2 nights. Did you catch that thing they were doing today where they broke down that guy's Scooball's throwing Scoobles?
I had the 710 radio on
Hmm.
and the TV muted, but I saw them. They kept showing it.
Yeah, they kept doing this, and I gotta say, I kind of like what the Tigers were doing on that FanDuel broadcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something to it, but it's just too hard to watch the game, and
Yeah.
part of the the root sports thing is locked up with the Mariners' budget issues and cheapness under Lord
Mm,
Stanton, and
yeah.
it's just one of those things like why can't we figure this out? I'm like a 25-year-old guy who lives alone and wants to watch a ton of Mariners games. Like,
It's
find a
like,
way to like scrape $6 or $8 off this guy.
yeah. If you're not the demographic they're looking for, I don't know who is.
Right, right. I mean, they're marketing it to fucking Brad and Snoqualmie with his cable package and 4 kids. But I mean, those guys are getting fewer and fewer by the year, and
Mm-hmm.
just something I want to get figured out in the next 5 to 10 years as a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's another
I
reason
like
why
that.
it's terrible this year is they make it really hard to watch the game.
Yeah. No, I get that. I did the same. Yeah, I've been doing the same thing, Stream East.
Yeah,
I was watching at I was watching some baseball at Drake's house the
yeah.
other night. I went and visited him and he was showing me, oh, I think he bought the route or he had some package.
Mhm.
No, no, we were watching on Stream East, but he had bought route because we were
Yeah,
watching the games before. I'm in a fantasy baseball league with him, which is I've never done before, but it's pretty sick.
yeah.
Um, my third biggest disappointment. Hmm. In theory, I would edit this out, but
Yeah, you will obviously edit that out in post.
yeah, obviously. Um, oh God, no. I don't need to talk about Mitch Garver.
Mm, mm.
He's
I
not a
think
dis
there's.
I don't know though, because the only way you could do that would be like the tandem of Polanco and Garver still being bad.
Mhm.
Because even
Well,
one of them being decent to start has been like a huge surprise.
right. Well, you can. You know what? I'll jump to my number one then, and then I'll
Please,
come back to you.
please.
Number one disappointment, frustration, reason the Mariners are going to be terrible, and I think you're going to have a lot to say on this one, is the designated hitter position.
Mm, mm-hmm.
So for all you non-baseball fans, junkies who just really know all the rules, guys like us.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the thing in baseball where one of your players doesn't have to play defense at all. Like not even he never has to go out there. So in theory, you would think that this fella would be your best hitter, right? Because he doesn't. You can just find someone who's really good at hitting, doesn't have
Yeah.
to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we're rolling out kind of the tag team of Rowdy Tellez and Mitch Garver, which is just embarrassing.
Yeah, it's so bad. Oh my God.
Guess what Rowdy's batting average is this year?
I don't know, 67, 125.
Batting 100,
Wow.
12 plate appearances, 5 strikeouts, 1 hit.
Hey, he hit that line drive to score Randy Rosarena for our only run yesterday.
Yeah,
God,
if Ryan Bliss and J.P. Crawford weren't on the team, he'd have the worst batting average besides Donovan Solano.
thank
And
God for those guys.
to play defense at all. He should only be practicing hitting 100% of the
Yeah.
time. Not even like Garver, where we ask him to
Oh.
catch on like I don't know what does he catch on fucking
Like
when just
he's been catching more. He caught twice already this year somehow.
yeah.
But
So
still,
so I mean Garver's 34, Telez is 30,
yeah.
and it's just embarrassing that we're paying. I don't know what we're paying these guys, but it can't be more than Garver kind of has a bigger contract, but dude, we're 120 million under the salary cap. Why can't we get a DH for more than 1.2 on a minor league deal?
Yeah. No, I think I would say yeah, if I feel like I would say my number one disappointment is just the entire infield.
Yes,
But I
yes.
don't think that's fair because that's too much of that's just a huge generalization. But like, I mean, that's just the entire team. That's like half the team.
If I told you the number two spot on my top five was Ryan Bliss slash infield,
Yeah. That
it's obvious.
it's they're just like no one in the infield really. I mean, JP hasn't been hitting like a major leaguer, but he
No,
should or could or has. And
hats.
Polanco is like a legitimate infielder.
Polanco got an off day today, right?
Huh?
Polanco wasn't playing today, right?
No, he's on paternity, which might be a huge blow for us. He's been like the only production, not the only, but
He's batting 400 with a home run and four RBIs.
he's been driving guys in. But he's like the only legitimate infielder on our roster. The rest of them are like Donovan Solano and I mean Luke Raley plays first sometimes, but he's not a first baseman.
Right.
Like we don't have a first baseman. Can you
Right.
imagine if we had a first baseman, our offense would be exponentially better because that's a
No.
if we had someone who could hit,
I know it's almost like we're $100 million under the salary cap, and we could have spent 35 of that on Pete Alonso and just had a really good first baseman.
oh my God, can you imagine if we had Pete Alonso?
Good. There's literally no reason we couldn't. It's
God.
we're just cheap.
Speaking of the DH though, it's that's kind of ironic considering like the greatest mate one of the best DHs ever is Edgar Martinez, who's already hitting. Like I would rather have him hit right now, probably. Not at now, he's too
He's
old.
making contact at least. He's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
oh,
God, they miss the ball so Julio whiffs so much at the ball.
with
So
a
does
ton.
so does fucking Cal. But uh-oh, my zooms. I probably oh, I
Oh,
have
yeah.
10 minutes.
I think we could do this in 10.
Oh yeah, easily. Okay, what are we at? Oh, you already said two. You've already said all yours. I got to come up with two and one.
Say, yeah, I would, dude. I would just the Garver went 0 for 4 today. Garver went 0 for 4. He's batting .083. Solano, yeah, Solano played first, went 0 for 3, batting nothing on the year.
Like, how do you? Dan Wilson can't feel good about seeing Donovan Solano trot out to the batter's box. Like when I watch the game, I just like tune out when
Right.
he's up because I don't care what he does and I know it's not going to be good.
And but somehow I think he had a better game than Ryan Bliss.
No, Bliss had a single.
Think about what happened right after that, though.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that was bad.
Ropes a single. He ropes so here was my I was
Oh
pretty down with the Ryan Bliss experience today.
yeah,
He uh he comes into the game, I think he's batting .67, which is just atrocious, especially when he's a professional baseball player.
yeah,
Um
yeah.
so he comes to the plate, he second inning strikes out,
Mm, nice.
automatic. Fourth inning comes up, kind of ropes a single, and that right when they're talking about him in that batting, the Tigers broadcast is going on about how he's if he made the Hall of Fame, he'd be the shortest guy ever.
It's not that. Yeah,
And then you're like, wow, he does look kind of small.
yeah,
And he looks up and he like swings as hard as he can and he like rips it like 95 feet into the outfield. And you're
yeah,
like, all right, I kind of like this little guy. Like he's kind of a strappy second baseman.
yeah,
He could
yeah,
win the Hall of Fame. And I'm like, I only feel good about that single because he's batting .67 this year,
yeah.
but I'm kind of like fired about Ryan Bliss right now. Like, what's with that? And
True.
immediately, like 3 pitches later, gets thrown out trying to steal second. And you're like, didn't
Yeah.
matter how he wrote that single. It was a pathetic single after all. And
No,
he like, shoots himself in the foot on the way to second.
but that's the thing about this team is that you get so like hooked on their successes because they're all so shitty that when they do something good, the dopamine release is greater because it's like so rare. Like
Yeah.
Ryan Bliss gets on base like 3 games in a row, and you're like we might have found somebody, and but it's just it's Ryan. Like I
Ryan
mean,
Bliss.
this happened with fucking Caballero. Remember when this happened? Like even
Who was the white guy last year? Outfielder. He hit
Oh,
that
it
great
happened with Haggerty like 3 years ago.
years ago. That was a big one. Who am I think? He played for the that banana. He played on that goofy team before.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that white guy from last year. What was his name?
What
But
positions did he play?
he was like a utility guy.
Cat Classic, yeah. Dylan Moore is like a is like
Dylan Moore was great.
he was great today, but
Dylan Moore
he's
is
overall he's like a 680 OPS. I mean, like you have to have one of those guys on your team though. Like Dylan Moore does exceed at what he should be doing on a baseball team.
right. Solid
But
defense.
but he shouldn't be like one of the better hitters on our team. Like like he would be really effective if he played for like the Giant like the Dod I don't know. The Dodgers would never need someone like him,
Never need him.
but like the Mets, like they bring in Dylan Moore like he plays half the time and he like does something electric.
His left field in a divisional playoff game for 3 innings because they need the defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's like what I can't remember any of these people's names, but yeah. Other teams have a guy like that and you're like, "Hell yeah." And ours is Dylan Moore and he is good at it, but
Dylan Moore is the guy. Dylan Moore is the guy that my dad's going to be texting me about, and like for the next like one to
yeah.
two weeks, as my dad kind of like checks the lineup and is like, "Holy shit, Dylan Moore's betting 375," but he's really just like 5 for 17, and it's
Hmm.
gonna get a hit for the next 3 weeks. But he's just kind of that guy that gets my dad through the first couple weeks of the seasons, and then maybe Robles will have a couple
Oh
games where
yeah.
he like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
four, and then you gotta get the Robles text, and you're like, "Huh,
Hmm.
this guy might be the future."
Yeah, yeah.
He's playing at center, like, but it's all a mirage.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
up batting in 220 range, and we're gonna win about
Yeah.
1 games, I would
Yeah.
say.
You'll feel happy when they hit like 240.
Um,
Like
yeah. Oh,
that's what
Julio
this team
together, his batting average crept above 242.
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
Julio's playing well. He's hitting 260 now. But it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
severely below average for the highest
just
paid player on the team.
yeah, it's like yeah. Anyway, yeah, Cal's been kind of a disappointment lately. I mean, he hit that dinger, but that's like the only thing he's done. And he hasn't
Right,
even been playing catcher that much for some reason.
right, and not only
Someone
does
was saying, huh? Someone was saying they thought Cal was going to start like 135 games at catcher. Someone I was listening to. I don't know. What were you going to say?
oh, nothing, but yeah, I mean, he got paid. He got paid. He I trust Cal. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah,
So next series is against San Francisco.
yeah.
First away series, Miller versus Verlander on Friday. Wow.
The Giants just have all the like 39-year-old Cy Young. Like don't oh yeah, the I think Rick Riz was saying today that the Mariners are facing three Cy Young pitchers in a row. Because I
That's
think it's Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray. That's the Ray there. Holy shit, Robbie Ray
Yeah.
from giving up that devastating home run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's hits? Hits is let's see.
Who do
He's
the Giants even have in their lineup?
10 hits. They have Robbie Ray, dude. Fucking hell,
Wait, is it
Robbie.
a 3-game series with the Giants or two? Three.
Yeah,
You said Hicks is the third guy?
6'2", 217. Just a meaningless stat. Yeah, I don't know how to find their offense on ESPN, so that's going to hamper that conversation. Um,
Mm.
then they play Houston at home, Texas at home.
Oh, we're going to that Texas game.
Texas game. Yeah, they
Those will be good series to tell us.
4. Yeah, those would be good. I think that what do you think they maybe win one against San Francisco?
Maybe. Yeah, I bet they get one. They're not gonna get swept by teams. They're just gonna barely lose most of them. I bet
It'll
they
be.
I bet they get swept by one of Houston or Texas.
Mhm. Yeah, it could be Texas when they faced DeGrom,
Oh,
maybe
I
Evolve.
could see, dude, yeah. We've been giving up a lot of contact, the starters.
Contact. A lot of
Even
contact.
even Gilbert, like to the Tigers. I was getting pissed at their franchise because I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And like, why aren't we hitting why can't we get 12 hits in a game or even nine? Like, what's our high total for the season? Probably eight?
Probably around that.
That's so
Yeah,
depressing. That's probably,
yeah.
yeah. My number one most disappointing, the thing that has made me the most like viscerally angry watching the games, it's so broad, it shouldn't even count, but it's just like the redundant lack of productivity from the
Yeah,
offense just is always bad for as long as I can remember. I mean, like we have bright spots every once in a while. Even I mean, when we had Cano and Cruz, like we were probably above average when we had those few like a couple years when the pitching staff was worse. But like every year, it's like fucking I don't know,
say there's anybody
getting a
alive,
root canal to watch them hit because they're like they just don't get on. I mean, they've been walking more, which is cool,
right?
but like they cannot hit string together hard hits.
No, I mean when you was there anyone on the Mariners roster right now? We got to go in about a minute here.
Oh,
Um, is, is there
yeah.
anybody on the Mariners roster that steps up to the plate and you feel good? Like any
No,
player? No,
no, maybe Polanco the first six games, but
right?
that's just depressing to even say out loud. Like, I don't trust him at all. I don't trust anyone. But yeah. Well, what do we got here? Oh, this has been great. Zoom's about to kick me off because well, we don't have a subscription, obviously. But wow, thanks everybody.
Everyone for
Thank you
listening,
to
and
thank
we'll
you to
catch.
both of our listeners. Thank you to Alex for
Thank
being
you,
here.
inspiring host, and
All two of our oh, excuse me. Hey, I'll see you next weekend.